Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Hampton with the Hampton Law Firm. Welcome to our YouTube channel, and today I want to talk to you about resisting arrest. What has to be proven, and is there a way to defend it? If you wait around to the end of this video, I will also give you a free ebook, What to Do If You Have Been Charged with a Crime in Texas. Okay, let's jump right into this. Now, it may be tempting for many people when they pick up a resisting arrest charge to think that it's not that big of a deal. Maybe it's not that important, and who cares how you resolve the case? Because most of the time, a resisting arrest charge is a misdemeanor. But if you were arrested, which I'm guessing if you're facing this charge that you were, it's a big deal if you don't want to have it on your permanent criminal record. So let's identify for just a moment what has to be proven. What are the elements of the crime of resisting arrest? So under Texas law, an individual commits the offense of resisting arrest if he or she intentionally obstructs or prevents a peace officer from carrying out a search, arrest, or transportation of an individual and uses force against the peace officer or another person. Now, the key word there is force, using that force against the peace officer, right? So one of the things to be aware of before we jump into that and talk a little bit about force or resistance, let's examine something, a common misconception. I have a lot of people that call me that pick up a resisting arrest charge and they say, Jeff, you don't understand. My arrest, or actually my search, was illegal. I mean, the police officers just came up and started bothering me, and they had no right to bother me at all. And they began to search me. They didn't have probable cause. Or even the arrest, they had no reason to arrest me. This happens a lot with public intoxication. You know you're not drunk, but the police officers decide they're going to arrest you anyway, and you start to pull away. Here's the problem. Even if what the police officers were doing, let's say it was an illegal search, it doesn't immediately get rid of the resisting arrest. So I think that's really important, is that even if the police officers are acting in a wrongful manner, Texas law says you cannot use that argument against the validity of the resisting arrest. So if a police officer approaches you, he's wearing a uniform, or he identifies himself as a police officer, and you resist that effort, you can still be charged. Okay? Now, let's talk for just a few minutes about what type of offense that is. It's a Class A misdemeanor. So under Texas law, a Class A misdemeanor is punishable by up to 1 year in the county jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Okay. Now, there are some variations to that. Sometimes a resisting arrest can lead into an evading arrest, where if someone resists and then breaks away and runs, the evading arrest by foot is it's also a misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor. But if you evade arrest in a vehicle, it can be a felony. So the resisting arrest charge can sometimes kind of lead to more crimes that the officers will try to stack against you. Now, let's talk about these defenses, okay? What are some of your legal defenses to resisting arrest? One of these is called passive resistance. Now, what I mean by that is, how is that a defense? Well, I see police officers sometimes say that the individual exhibited passive resistance, meaning they didn't really pull away by force, but they weren't as compliant as I would like for them to be. And so they use this term passive resistance. In reality, that is kind of language for the police officer to decide he wants to arrest you because he doesn't like you, or he doesn't like the way you responded. So if your case has any language in it like that, or maybe that's how it actually went down, despite what the police officer says, it's important that you really tear apart the facts and evidence of your case, because it may be very difficult for the state of Texas to prove that. All right. Finally, so we have passive resistance, and then what about no resistance? And I know this sounds obvious, but what if the officers were arresting you and maybe there was a mouthy exchange between the two of you and you're upset that they're arresting you for no reason, but yet you never pulled away. You were never exhibiting any force towards the police officer. Well, that's very important. That is why videos matter. Okay. So some people say they're afraid of a video. In my experience, a video is the defense attorney's friend. Okay. Because a lot of police officers are going to write down what they want to write down after the fact in their police report to make themselves look good, and not necessarily you. Well, a video tells what really happened. And if we don't see that force taking place or that resistance taking place, Remember, the state of Texas must prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt, okay? So the more doubt that there is about what took place, the more leverage you have to make sure you can keep your criminal record clean. All right, so those are some of the main points to consider with a resisting arrest charge. I want to remind you, it's important who you choose as your attorney. If you have questions about your resisting arrest charge, if you would like us to give you a free case analysis and go over thoroughly your situation, and maybe your case is out of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area, don't hesitate to give us a call at the Hampton Law Firm at 817-877-5200. Now, I promised you if you waited around to the end of this video, I would give you a free ebook, What to Do If You Have Been Charged with a Crime in Texas. Click the link right down here below, and we will be happy to send that right over to you. Thanks again for joining us on this video series. I look forward to seeing you on our next video.